Thank you for visiting our channel, and welcome to our channel. We're happy to present a movie we made with lots of helpful information on Adidas, a famous sportswear brand, and you should check it out. Before continuing to watch the video, we would appreciate it if you gave this video thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. How did Adidas get started? Who founded the company? And where did they first sell their shoes? Insight into Adidas' past provides illuminating responses to all of these queries. This video will cover a wide range of related topics as we address the subject. Therefore, let's save time and get going immediately. Adolf Dassler was born to a low-income family on November 3, 1900, in a small village in the German state of Bavaria. He was born in Germany. The Adidas was formally established in 1949. Thus, this happened a long time ago. Adolf Dassler's mother was a laundress, and his father was a typical shoemaker. Therefore, he spent a good chunk of his youth helping in the workshop. This experience influenced his decision to pursue a career in shoemaking. As a result of his mother's employment as a laundress, he spent a considerable amount of his childhood helping out in the laundry's production area. His mother spent several years working as a laundress at a neighborhood establishment. Adolf Dassler, only 20 years old, assumed leadership roles in the family shoe firm in 1920. The decision was taken because financial constraints meant the family had to choose between food and rent. Adolf and Rudolf Dassler ran a modest shoemaking workshop out of the same building that housed their mother's laundry service. Amidst a series of setbacks, he hit upon a concept that would eventually revolutionize the shoemaking industry. Adolf's business associates included the Cillian brothers. They had their blacksmith shop, where they made the spikes for the bottoms of the shoes. When it came to blacksmithing, the Cillian brothers were true experts. The Dassler brothers' shoes were in such high demand that they eventually had to relocate their operation to a new building. This was essential for manufacturing purposes. The American track star Jess Owens competed in the 1936 Olympics while wearing shoes manufactured by the Dassler brothers. The German manufacturing industry provided the soles for these shoes. The Dassler brothers and Joseph Weitzer worked together in 1928 to create and patent a new style of spiked shoe. Owens broke 5 world records and won 4 Olympic gold medals while sporting shoes made by the Dassler brothers. Dassler's now famous 2 stripes first appeared on Owens' shoes, and soon after, many Olympic athletes were wearing shoes created by the brand. Even though both brothers were members of the Nazi Party, the Nazis nonetheless managed to seize control of the Dassler factories and send both brothers to fight on the front lines. Nazis tried to start making handheld anti-tank grenade launchers at one of the factories, even though their machinery wasn't up to snuff. Although they tried, they were ultimately unsuccessful. After serving for a year, Adolf returned from the war and almost immediately began producing combat boots for German soldiers. However, as World War II was coming to a close, the United States invaded the town of Herzogenaurach in Bavaria, where the brothers' second facility was located. The Allies put Rudolf in a POW camp after reports circulated that he had served in the Nazi regime's elite SS soldiers. Dassler was given several surplus goods from the United States Army, including tents and baseball gloves that had been stored for years. When Rudolf and his brothers returned to the family business in 1946, they returned to making shoes. Nonetheless, Germany's post-war condition was marked by a lack of raw materials, difficulties entering the worldwide market, and, at times, complete isolation from the rest of the world. Because of this, the brothers decided to create footwear from ancient military horse equipment remnants and pay their 47 workers in kind. Taking this path led to a happy ending for all parties. However, the 2 brothers eventually realized that their worldviews and plans for the company's future diverged considerably. Because of their divergent viewpoints, they concluded that it was in their best interest to stop working together and instead focus on achieving their respective objectives. They distanced themselves from one another quickly after their father's death. Rudolf took charge of the new company, while Adolf ran the old one. Rudolf oversaw the new building, while Adolf managed the existing factory. A similar period saw the beginning of Rudy's Puma, These two illustrious businesses are still owned by the Dassler family. By the time Adolf added a third stripe to the two-stripe design on August 18, 1949, his company had quickly risen in popularity and became one of the world's most recognizable and prestigious sports brands. Adidas' success can be attributed to the company's innovative practices and high-quality products. Adolf modified the logo from 2 to 3 stripes the same day he modified the logo from 2 to 3. Adidas began experimenting with the design of sports backpacks in 1952, expanding its product line beyond footwear and apparel. Adolf wanted to diversify the company into the clothing industry, but the shoe business remained the main focus, so he sought a partner to oversee the new venture. When these garments first hit the shelves, they were immediately snatched up by eager customers. They found so much mutual joy in their partnership that Sultanreich quickly began producing clothes exclusively for Adidas. Adidas entered the American market in the late 1950s, capitalizing on the rising popularity of sports and the absence of serious competition. By the 1970s ended, the corporation had possessed 24 plants in 17 countries and sold almost 200,000 pairs of shoes, apparel items, balls and bags daily. The Adidas Telstar was the official game ball of the 1970 FIFA World Cup, played in Mexico. Adidas' now iconic shamrock emblem was designed in 1972. The same year, the firm sponsored apparel at the Olympic Games in Munich, and the German national soccer team won the European Championship. In 1974, Germany's national soccer team, playing in Adidas cleats, won the World Cup for the second time. That standard has yet to be surpassed. After Adolf's death on September 6, 1978, at age 77, his widow, Kate Dassler, took over as CEO. At the time of the founder's death, the company was in the midst of a severe crisis, which could be traced back mainly to the appearance of powerful competitors. Before their respective terms as CEO, Kath and Horst Dassler left the company in 1984 and 1987, respectively. Adolf Dassler's successors as CEO did not fare as well. In the 1980s, Nike and Reebok launched massive marketing campaigns across the United States and Canada. This meant that these two companies controlled 50% of the American sports shoe market at the end of the decade. In 1989, the surviving members of Adolf Hitler's family sold the struggling business for a meager 440 million German marks. The original owners sold the company to French entrepreneur Bernard Tapie, who owned the Olympique de Marseille soccer team, and retained a minority stake of 20%. Adidas nearly went bankrupt as consumer interest in sportswear waned, allowing Nike and Reebok to rise to prominence as the world's leading sportswear manufacturers. When French financiers bought the company, they put Robert Louis Dreyfus in charge. During his tenure as CEO, the corporation took advantage of the lower labor cost in Asia by increasing its marketing budget and relocating production to Indonesia, China, and Thailand. It allowed the firm to recover its competitive edge by 1995, and as a result, its profits nearly doubled from 1994 levels. As a result of the purchase of Salomon Sports in 1997, Adidas, a prominent French maker of winter sports equipment, overtook Nike to become the world's second-largest producer of athletic apparel, dethroning Reebok in the process. Before 2005, the merged companies were known as Adidas Salomon. The 3.5-fold increase in sales in the United States was dwarfed by the 1.5-fold increase in sales everywhere else. Construction began on the current headquarters in 1999 for the company's golden anniversary. The corporation also had international outposts in Japan, Turkey, and the Netherlands at the time. The first two Adidas original stores, one in Berlin and one in Tokyo, were opened in 2001. There was a general upward trend in the company's popularity and growth rate nationally and New York from 2001 and 2002. Adidas sold Salomon Sports in 2005 and utilized the proceeds to purchase Reebok International Limited outright for $3.5 billion. This purchase brought Adidas closer than ever to the industry leader, Nike, which had 35% of the American sporting goods market before the acquisition, increasing Adidas' share from 20% to 25%. Adidas only owns two modest facilities, one in Germany and one in the United States, which has caught many off guard. The remaining items are custom-made to order by more than 290 companies. They are primarily found in Asia, 71%, with only 18% distributed in the Americas, 6% in Africa, and 5% in Europe. Numerous Asian countries, notably China, Indonesia, and Vietnam, account for a large share of Adidas footwear production. Vietnam is home to Adidas' largest factory, producing 11% of the brand's 409 million pairs of shoes last year. The company's products are primarily promoted and sold under the Adidas and Reebok brands. Most of the company's revenue comes from its footwear division, with Adidas being the other major brand. With a year-end staff of 57,000 and revenue of $24 billion, the company had a net profit of about $2 billion, or 90%, on a sales level of 10%. Regarding endorsing professional sports teams and famous athletes, Adidas is in a class all its own. Throughout its lengthy existence, a well-known brand has more than once been on the verge of extinction. He kept in shape by playing tennis and swimming laps, even after turning 75. The interchangeable spikes on soccer cleats are his most well-known creation. Adolf Dassler, a shoemaker from a small town in Germany, is credited with founding this worldwide behemoth. Thanks for watching and subscribe to us for more interesting successful stories.